I was just so thankful that he kept me all the same, in spite of the kind of life I lived. Because I went to parties a lot. You know, I was a teenager then. My name is Aisha Peace Oduwole. I would just like to share with you the story of my life. I was born in Agbo to Mrs. Hadiza and Alhaji Yakubu in the year 1962. October the 3rd, 1962. It was a special event because my parents were married for about 9 years before they had me. And they celebrated actually for 7 days because for them I was very special. My dad was actually about over 50 at that time. As I was growing up, he already had gray hair all over. And I was very special to him because even after 5 years, he didn't have another child, you know, after he had me. And I remember very well how he would place me on the dining table when he was eating, and he would give me the best part of the food. And I was really very special to him. And at some point, they moved to Benin City from Agbo. So most of my life, my teenage years was in Benin City. That was where I attended primary and secondary school. I attended the Obaseki Primary School in Benin City for 6 years, and then I attended Idia College, Benin City, for 5 years. Then we had forms 1 to 5. While I was in Idia College, I actually encountered Christians going to church on Sundays, and because I had nothing to do, I actually followed them to church. And I enjoyed the fact that they danced a lot, but it didn't mean anything to me, really. There was no impact at all. I just remember vaguely how we used to sing and just dance and enjoy church. My parents were Muslims, and of course I was also a Muslim. Like I mentioned to you, my name is Aisha, you know, but I wasn't at this point a practicing Muslim while I was in secondary school. But my dad was. My dad was a devoted Muslim. He went to mosque, you know, almost every time on a daily basis. He went to the mosque to pray. And my father was actually in the army at some point, and then when he retired from the army, he became an ambulance driver in a hospital in Benin City. My mom was not a practicing Muslim at that time when I was young, but at some point she became very serious with her Muslim faith. So she joined my father and they became very serious Muslims. And after my secondary education, I taught in a primary school for about 6 months. And while I was in that primary school, I had the privilege of attending an interview for some scholarship scheme. Then they wanted 25 students from each state of the federation then. And being from Edo State, then it was Bendel State, because it was still together with Delta State. I went for this interview in Enugu. That was my first time of actually traveling all by myself to such a far place. I went for this interview, and it was conducted by foreigners. They actually came from the US to conduct these interviews. And amazingly, I was one of the 25 they picked. And that was how I gained this full scholarship and went to the US in 1979. I landed in the US in Washington, D.C., and I was there in the US for about 3 years because I came back to Nigeria in 1982. While in the US, I was neither a Muslim or a Christian. I mean, I didn't practice my religion. Neither did I go to church or take God seriously. It was not even a factor in all I did in the US. I was just so thankful that he kept me all the same, in spite of the kind of life I lived. Because I went to parties a lot. You know, I was a teenager then. And in 1982, I came back to Nigeria after I finished the program. It was actually studied urban and regional planning. It was an associate degree, not a full degree. It was for about 3 years. I came back and I was supposed to actually work. But as soon as I returned, my parents put a lot of pressure on me to get married. There's this part that I actually skipped. Before I went to the US, I met the man I eventually got married to. His name is Aminu, and he proposed to me. As soon as he saw me, he just said, "This is the lady that I would like to marry." Then I was just 16, and he was 19, because he's just about 2 to 3 years older than me. And he said, when he saw me, he said, "I'm going to marry this lady someday." And I just laughed because I was still too young. And but we kept in touch, sort of, even while I was in the US. So as soon as I got back, my parents made sure that I got married. So I returned March the 25th, 1982. I remember the day I returned, and I remember the day I got married. It wasn't even up to a month. I got married in April 1982, the 18th of April 1982. So that's the first part of my story. I will let you, I'll share the second part of it when I have the opportunity to do so next time.
Viewers, what you have just seen is the beginning of another story, another exciting adventure with Jesus. This testifier was born into a Muslim family. She had brushes with Christians in her secondary school days, but that led to nothing. What God began to do in her life and how she became a transformed person, she will relate to you in the following videos. But what I will say to you, keep faith with us, because you are going to hear things that will change your own life. Doesn't matter how you started in life. God loves you. God is interested in you. Take one step toward Him, and you will see what God will do in your life. Please do not forget to subscribe to this our channel. Send these videos to your friends. This is the beginning of another exciting story. Make sure you do not miss any part of it. Subscribe so that any video we post, you will be the first person to get it. The next segment of this story will be very exciting still. Thank you for tuning in today, and God bless you.